Okay, so we got a plot development. I didn't really see going the way that it did. I figured there'd be some form of way to save the main character, save Maruo, but I didn't expect it to go this way. But again, that it makes complete sense. I didn't really put much. I didn't put much thought to it. I was reading it and I was like, there's a couple things that can happen, and I thought it was going to be more from Maruo's side and not from. Again, I can't forget how to pronounce his name. Uda Ha. Whatever. At some point, I just want her to get some cool title or nickname, and I can just call her that. Some way easier to pronounce. But essentially, the fight between Maruo and I forgot this guy's name. I gotta find the chapter real quick, and then I gotta remember this dude's name because I like this guy so far, but I haven't tried to keep much tabs on this bad guy because I want to wait for the fight to be over. I was like, I didn't know if it was going to be just some one-off fight bad guy or if he's going to be a character that sticks around. It seems like he's going to be someone that sticks around. So I'm going to try and keep more attention to him because I like him so far. I like that he's this kind of heat into ice user. I think that's pretty neat. But yeah, he can't Maruo can't really do anything. Because as I mentioned, this guy is intangible on top of clearly having, OP for in comparison to Maruo's powers, because Maruo's just right now a very physically strong person. He's just built. He's just a superhuman being. But all he can do is pretty much do heavy attacks. And if he doesn't have the ability to hit somebody that is intangible, he doesn't have some way, either an ability or thinking of some way that ends up letting you get around it. He's just punching, so he's not going to do anything. He's essentially just hitting smoke. And I knew that there was nothing he could do unless this guy's power ran out, and then it was just a timer or something. But it didn't seem to be that. It just seemed like this guy was just intangible. On top of that, this guy decides to go even crazier because he shoots his weird energy heat stealing thing up and stole a bunch of heat from the clouds. I thought that was really cool, just because it's really cool when you see a series do newer and bigger things in terms of a newer display of power or speed or something. Something that it's okay, this character's gonna get a cool hype moment to show off obviously how strong they are and stuff, and you just do something a little extra visually and in concept instead of just bigger explosion. Bigger explosion can work for some characters, but obviously, when you have a character whose power you can flex in different ways, it's neat to see it done in various ways. So he pulls down a bunch of stuff from the clouds, which I thought was really sick, and he makes a blizzard, and then is just freezing the whole area, and then drops this giant ice boulder on him. I don't know if it'd be an iceberg. It looks big, but it looks like maybe the size of a car, and obviously, I think an iceberg. I don't know if there's the specific size an iceberg has to be, but I imagine it has to be pretty big. I don't imagine they're seeing a car-sized chunk and getting freaked out when you're a boat, unless you're a tiny boat. But I don't think that matters. Maruo punches right through it, but not punches right through it. It crushes him pretty much, and then he just kind of smashes right through it. But he's covered in blood, and it's very clear that he's not gonna win. He's beaten to hell while the other guy hasn't even gotten hit yet, and he has no way of hitting this guy. But he has a really cool and obviously sad mental flashback combination moment where he's thinking of the other main characters, and he's saying he especially loves battle manga because he loves watching the bad guys or the guys fight, and it came down to how he the bad guy in the end doesn't he might lose at some point, but in the end he wins. And I guess in this case he's saying that they don't lose, but he was saying how in the end they're always going to win, which I understand, because obviously the whole stuff with his dad and that whole sad backstory, having a really shitty abusive dad, but while he's fighting this guy, it's very, very, very clear he's not gonna win. He's just done. And at that point, the one little blob dude has 10, whatever his name is, has the knife, and they get it he pretty much just gets it over to and then no, he doesn't get it over to her. He just opens it, so she doesn't have to do it. It just the blade has to be taken out. And you have this really cool panel, really cool. I actually kind of like this one more than the full reveal one. The full reveal one is sick, but like when she has like in partial transformation and she's got like the whole shadow around her, just because her design looks really good in that kind of like wispy shadow art style. It just looks good. I think with the horns and the way that her eyes are drawn and stuff, or her hair. But she's like this sick wolf creature. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure if somebody like knows way more about yokai, they'd probably be like, oh, it's this thing. But it'll probably be revealed next chapter. But she's looking powerful. I wonder why she has to keep it in a blade and what the story on it is and like how strong she is at this point and what she can do. I figured she was stronger than Maro at the start because the way that I saw it, it was like she's a boss looking for a good potential fighter. She sees him more of like what he could do instead of like what he's currently capable of. So I would assume that from the standpoint that from the story, it would make sense of that she would be stronger because she is the leader. She's obviously like he's the main character, but she's the leader. And the boss, at least at the start, being the strongest and recruiting who would pretty much be her right hand, I think would make sense for him to eventually be stronger than her to, you know, be her right hand to protect her. And at the start for her to be stronger, but this is like a plot reason that seems to have like her powers like locked up, which I think was, you know, it's something that's going to probably have some big reveal, probably of like maybe the nature of it. Maybe like because she's young, she can only maintain it for a certain amount of time. And this is like just how they like work, like make their power and abilities like work. Outside of that, and there's like a whole part at the end where they're going to go rescue their other friend. This chapter felt really fast. It's weird because like it had like a lot of really cool lore and backstory setup. And, I mean, not lore. I guess it's like character kind of like sort of lore because we don't get the full information on what that whole form is, like what yokai she is and like what it can do, how it's important. Like a lot of the chapter is just like Maro trying to fight him. We do get that flashback that it's like there's like pages with no dialogue because obviously it's more about the flex of like the art and what's going on with like the character, which I understand makes sense for like what kind of chapter it was. I think the next chapter would be really hype because this one was, I mean, it was way more of a fight chapter, but it was set in a fight where the main character can't win. I'm expecting after this whole thing, he has to get some form of ability. He has to get some form of upgrade to his moveset. Whether it's equipment, a straight power, or if he has to get like, I don't know, some form of like talismans or something. I'm just trying to think of like different things like he could get, like besides just, you know, an energy ability or something. Some form of addition to his powers that lets him actually fight somebody like this, because you can't just raw punch a character like this. If you're going to punch him, there has to be a power on top of that for you to be able to, you know, fight these intangible people. Or some very specific, like, ability counter that works because of, like, how that element or how that aspect of intangibility works. Like, there are ways around it that there have been in fiction and like, things that you could think of through, like, science and stuff. But you're not just going to raw punch it. Unless, I don't know, if your punch is so crazy it shockwaves him into space or something ridiculous with some Saitama moves or something, but I don't think so. Outside of that, good chapter. I like the reveal at the end. The color page is really nice. Seems the series is being pretty well received. I'm enjoying it. The only thing I'm wondering right now is when we're gonna really see Maruo's whole power. I do really want to know like what's up with what's up with the fact that right now he's just punching, because obviously I get like how his design works, but obviously with characters like this, and this guy obviously isn't even close to the top, there has to be more showings of the main character's abilities and stuff. It can't be restricted to this if we're going to see him eventually beat crazier people. I mean, other than that, comment below, thumbs up the video, click the like button, subscribe button, check out my other videos. From there, always subscribe. Thank you all for listening. Bye.